What's up, everybody? It's the CGT podcast, episode infinity, because I really don't know the episode number, but we're going to write it on the video, so that's important. I don't know what to call this video, but I'm going to put it along with the rest of the podcast videos that had to do with centering on women's health,
health.
and all the actual good juices and flows and waters and stuff. You get what I'm saying? So with that being said, today we actually have a physical, you get what I'm saying? We got physical proof right here. We got exposed medical files saying that somebody had something dealing with a female, and specifically what that was
PCOS, also known as polycystic ovary syndrome.
now, of course, she doesn't have to worry about that anymore. But at a time and period where, you get what I'm saying, a lot of people still do have to worry about that, but a lot of people are also being exposed to research that could help them not even have to worry about that. And with that being said,
So wait, let's talk about what PCOS is first.
okay,
PCOS is enlarged ovaries that have tiny cysts inside, or it could be on the inner layer or outside of it.
yeah, that's a good way to see it too. But also, you feel me? Technically, I mean, it literally stands for polycystic ovary syndrome.
Right.
So, yeah. And with that being said, I got some pictures right here. I want to go ahead and break it down the best that I can for everybody. I don't know if it's on here or the other. Anyway, I'm gonna dive right into it. We're gonna be screen sharing this video, so I got the recording on just in case anything messes up, and we're gonna move right along. Just wanted to remind myself that. So we're gonna go straight to the screen share. Okay, wait, I think I was supposed to press something just then. There you go, the meeting controls. That's what I need. Anyway, all right, I think we good. Yeah, we good. So with that being said, everybody can see the screen, and we're gonna pull up polycystic ovary syndrome according to, you feel me, the National Center. I forgot what that shit mean, honestly, right now, but that's not important. What's important is what their description of polycystic ovary syndrome is, and they basically categorize it as elevated androgen levels. And what that is basically a type of hormone and menstrual irregularities or small cysts on one or both ovaries. The disorder can be morphological or predominantly biochemical, which means it's hyperandrogenemia. Hyperandrogenemia, gensemia, a clinical hallmark of PCOS can cause inhibition of follicular development, microcyst in the ovaries, and anovulation and menstrual anovulation and menstrual charges. So PCOS is a heterogeneous genus disorder that affects at least 7% of adult women. According to the National Institute of Health Office of Disease Prevention, PCOS affects approximately 5 million women of childbearing age in the U.S. Cost of the U.S. healthcare system for the identification and management of PCOS are approximately $4 billion per year. So I just want to get down to that part. It's more, we're going to get into more juice of it, but that's a big part of it. You get what I'm saying? So we're going to go back over here to this video. I forgot how to stop screen sharing. Okay, go back over here. Wait, how do you expand this shit? Not sharing no computer sounds right now. What the fuck? Oh, yeah, you're right. So anyway, it's still not showing the whole screen for some reason. So I'm just trying to move along without that being awkward somehow. Uh, or I could just stay on the screen and share shit. Anyway, with that being said, we're gonna go along and continue into the story of actually like how we came across PCOS, and I'll let her take over from that point on.
You want me to tell the story, my story?
I mean, yeah, I want you to tell the beginning of the story so we can actually try to teach people along the way.
Yeah, okay. So I probably found out I had PCOS in college. So that's probably like 19, 20 years old, something like that. Um, they never really did like a test for me. They just took certain symptoms I was having as far as acne, which I thought I had. I was just acne prone like my whole life. Excessive like body hair. So I have like hair that would grow on my face.
That's what I mean by follicular.
Mm-hmm. Um, and my period was super irregular. My period would come and go whenever it wanted. I would go like a year without a period, and then a year with it being almost normal. And I think the longest I went without a period was about 2 years. So when I didn't have a period, um, I thought I was pregnant, but I wasn't. I just didn't have a period. And then after that, I thought, like, okay, well, I can't get pregnant because my period isn't, because my period is abnormal.
So wait, did the doctors actually ever tell you that?
That I couldn't get pregnant?
Yeah.
No, they never said that out their mouth, but that's what I thought.
You
That
never
was my
researched it
perception.
or anything like that?
So, right. So when I was having all these other symptoms without the period, they were like, "Oh, so you have PCOS." They just told me I had it, and they gave me this little booklet that had all this information about PCOS on it, and it also had like infertility being a big symptom of it. So I took from that, oh, okay, I can't have kids. So then I started researching what PCOS was in fertility and like the medicines they would put women on, and IVF and all of that. And so then I just had my brain like, oh, okay, if I want to have a baby, it's just going to be a little harder than other people. So I kind of just took it there myself, thinking that like, I was infertile. Yeah. They didn't really say that to me. Mm-hmm. But without the course of going to the doctor off and on, they would give me medication to turn my period, like not turn my period on, but bring my period on. And then there was times where my period literally wouldn't come if I was not taking the medicine that they were giving me to make it come on. So then I feel like my body kind of like got programmed to that, to only come on with the medicine they were giving me.
Yeah, that's very, very accurate to what's happening because, I mean...
Right, okay, but before I get to that, though, because I'm noticing that it's a lot of Black women who have, well, I don't like saying the word Black, but brown melanated women who are being diagnosed with PCOS. And what I can tell from, like, my history, when I started my period at 9 years old, and that's supposed to be, like, an early age. But I also know I was getting hella perms back then. So I know that, like, those creamy crack to my brain definitely fuck with my hormones to make me have a period so early and to make me, like, have I feel to make me have an irregular period later.
Yeah, that's why I want to get into it with you and everybody else. I mean, I'm not really, as you know, babe, I'm not really no master of like this stuff. I'm actually still studying it myself, and the more I learn, it just makes me excited to actually share with other people because it'll help me actually be able to master it myself and further along my energy to stay focused. Yeah. With that being said, I just got this simple list right here. I mean, it's not a simple list. So it's actually a list of chemicals that actually affect something called the endocrine system. So before we get into the endocrine system, I mean, let's figure out the shit that's basically simple shit that she just said. Basically, she said perm at an early age. You get what I'm saying?
Super
Perm at an
early.
early age. I gotta remind myself that the actual camera is up here, but it keeps disappearing. So
Where's the camera?
it's up here, but it keeps disappearing. Like,
Oh, okay.
that's
Yeah,
kind of annoying.
definitely. Perms at an early age, and that period came very fast.
Heck, yuck.
Also,
Let me find this shit. There you go. All right.
I feel like another hormonal imbalance was me like losing my virginity at an early age, like 14 years old.
See,
That's early.
come on now.
But all these things,
Bruh, see,
definitely.
I don't know about all that. I'm just gonna approach it how it actually works, in my opinion, which is going based off of the endocrine system.
We're
Your
talking about
endocrine,
hormones, though.
we're talking about hormones. Like, okay,
Right.
so when we're talking about hormones, sex is not the only thing hormones are responsible for.
No,
So with that being
I
said,
didn't say that. I'm saying
okay.
that goes with it.
I agree,
I'm
man.
saying all these things.
You're right. They all do go with each other. But I don't want you to think I'm trying to scold you right now. I'm just basically trying to help you see what I see now, basically. And that's just the fact that, like, women have been taught that, oh yeah, it always has to go with sex with hormones and shit, but it doesn't. So right here, I just want to show everybody this because I fuck with Dick Gregory, you feel me? And it's not gonna show up on this one, but it's proof that, you feel me? We can just print shit out and then show it to people.
Okay.
So with that being said, I didn't just make this shit up, and you can know this now.
All right, I'm gonna read them. 7 ways to support balanced hormones. Wearing safer beauty products. Use organic cotton feminine products. Look for chemical-free shampoo, conditioner, and lotion. Buy organic produce that is on the Dirty Dozen list. Choose safer cleaning products. Switch out your plastic water bottles and containers for glass or stainless steel. Skip products with high fructose corn syrup. Oh my god! Like,
So with that being said,
definitely was doing the opposite of all those things around that age.
So
like, eating whatever I wanted, like wearing beauty products from the beauty supply. Who knows what's in that stuff? Organic cotton and tampons. I'm just now learning about the cup, like as a 30-year-old. So
exactly.
yeah.
So with that being said, you know all the things. Okay, for example, we already exposed half this PCOS shit right there because of the fact that before we even get into learning about what the endocrine system is, and I'm pretty sure I might be doing this backwards, but I like to keep people hooked in. So with that being said, like I already know there's so many misconceptions by not only men, but I mean, not only, of course, men are stupid, completely oblivious when it comes to shit like this. I have my own story. It was a girl I was dating at the time back in the day. She had the same problem going on. You get what I'm saying? I was so oblivious to what the fuck was going on because all I could probably think about was fucking or like food or some stupid shit. I don't know. But at the end of the day, the real shit that matters is this, bro. I had the vegan diet part. I was trying to help her become vegan at that part. That shit didn't matter because all the other shit that pretty much you're saying, you know how you were just saying black women have this problem a lot. Do you think black women are susceptible to these 7 things, not following these 7 rules more than any other group of people?
Absolutely. Because of our environment, period. Because of the things our mother and our grandmother did. Like, it's all like, it all has to be relearned. And I literally didn't learn these things until I was an adult. Like,
and then do you understand how deep it is that the endocrine system is, you feel me? The endocrine system is the hormonal production, emitting, and you feel me? Like it's like it's like the bank for hormones inside of your body, basically. So with that being said, you have to realize that every living thing in nature has hormones. Hormones are instructions. You get what I'm saying? So it's like literally like it's a part of your DNA sequence and all that shit, but it's like more of a, you get what I'm saying? It's more chemicalized. It's like the more molecular, it's like the more molecular scale of it. So with that being said, I wanted to go back to the chemical part because the reason why they named these 7 things is because all 7 of these things have chemicals in it.
Oh yeah.
Beauty products, hella chemicals.
Oh, but I have an 8 for this list of 7. I'm having number 8.
What's that?
Fucking birth controls.
that's a
because
whole
I
nother thing.
got on birth control really early too. Like I feel like all these things
A
definitely
lot of
played a
women.
factor.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, it's crazy. I mean, the birth control is definitely damaging to you.
Because they were trying to present the birth control as a way to this will regulate your period. These chemicals will regulate it, and these will make your menstrual pain less. And you just sold me all this crap to get on birth control.
I mean, it's doing all that, but it's doing it in a synthetic way. That's the only thing, though. It's doing it in a synthetic way. It's giving you synthetic hormones that were not produced in nature. So that's why I wanted to goddamn. That's why it's important to understand your endocrine system. Not only that, understand every fucking system in your body that is responsible for you living your everyday life. Dead ass. Here, baby, no, you weren't. So with that being said, every system in your body that's responsible for you living your everyday life, you need to be studying that. And the endocrine system is like, once again, it's your hormones. It's responsible for the instructions inside of your body. That's a good artistic way I've heard other people say it right now. And I'm still trying to become a better teacher. So until I get some better analogies, stick with me. So right now we have something called, what we're about to talk about and going to is another part of these 7 things right here that we just listed. And they're called obesogens, chemicals that may be contributing to obesity. Now, there's a duality to these 7 ways to support your hormones, because it goes back to 2 main things that you realize that go along with PCOS, like they were saying in the research that I pulled up on the NCBI website. With that being said, you go back to that, you look at it, you see what they're talking about. And one of the things they were talking about one of the things you go down and you do the research on is that obesity and lack of exercise and poor diet, basically poor lifestyle choices, are 100% contributing to PCOS. That means you eat.
They're trying to say that obesity is like a symptom of PCOS.
Exactly, but that's what we're about to get into. That pretty much these symptoms that they're saying are just symptoms. It's actually stuff that you're putting into your body. You get what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So if you don't even have to take the medicine, if you just understand what you're putting into your body is actually instructions.
Yeah.
And it's distribute what they call EDC, which is endocrine disrupting chemicals. Endocrine disrupting chemicals. So that's why the focus of the endocrine system is about chemicals, because it's a biochemical thing overall. But if you go above the biochemical level, you can just see how chemicals react even outside of your body, and then especially how they react inside of your body. So with that being said, obesity snapshot. It says 36% of adult obesity. 30% of adults are obese. 36% of adults are obese. 42% of Hispanics are obese. 48% of non-Hispanic blacks are obese. 11% of non-Hispanic Asians are obese, and 34% of non-Hispanic whites are obese. That's interesting.
I always have to say non-Hispanic. I never understood that.
I'm not sure either.
Yeah.
But the
point is, the people that are calling black are the most obese, 48.1%.
And that goes back to right now will be a perfect time for me to get into the Dr. Sebi video, but I want to go ahead and finish this. I'm gonna play the Dr. Sebi video after this because he's gonna break down exactly what the fuck is going on, why that part right there is important. But we're gonna go on more to the obesogens. So how do obesogens impact the body? It says increase the number and or size of your fat cells. It affects your body's regulation of hunger and fullness. And lastly, it changes the metabolism by storing calories as fat. And calories just literally mean biological energy. So with that being said, breaking down obesogens. So there are more than 80,000 chemicals in the US. About 800 are identified as endocrine disruptors, chemicals that interfere with the body's hormone system. With that being said, TBT, which is tributylin is a fungicide and a disinfectant that you can find in a lot of your cleaning products. Phthalates are plastic products, which pretty much all your products are stored in, and they're starting to get phthalates out of there, but they're replacing it with pretty much equally EDC. It's equally disrupts your endocrine system as the phthalates. So don't trust the new plastic shit either. With that being said, you got some called oreganochlorenes, which is pesticides and electronic manufacturers. So I'm pretty sure this is like pretty much whenever you got like wiring, and then you're manufacturing shit like wiring and electronics, and whenever you're dealing with pesticides and you're dealing with plants, then that's what they're talking about. Then you got organobromides, which are flame retardants. Then you got something called BPA, which is a lot of people have been like a lot of white people and a lot of people who are doing research on this type of stuff about EDCs. They hate BPA, but BPA just basically
BPA free now.
Yeah, but they ain't talking about none of these other motherfucking chemicals. And it's basically a byproduct of plastic production. Then you got something called chlorofluorocyanuric acid, which is a non-stick coating that they use on all the pans. A lot of the pans, whenever you go out to eat, and then especially on the stoves and the oven, they don't just use it on the pans. They use it on non-stick stoves and ovens and shit too. That you just and non-stick grills. So whenever you go out to eat at restaurants and shit like that, you can guarantee that they spraying their shit with this, bro. You can guarantee it. Then you got some called oregano-phosphates, which are insecticides. Last but not least, you got stuff called heavy metals, specifically canadium, arsenic, and lead. And you get this stuff from mining, you get this stuff from fertilizers, you get this stuff from plastic production, and you get this stuff from wood preservation. And the reason I wanted to name that stuff is because a lot of people will be saying right here, like for example, like you said, they went to the doctor and they assume, or they, you feel me, can put two and two together and be like, oh, you have signs of obesity, you have, you feel me, acne, and you're saying you don't have a period. We already know what this is. You get what I'm saying?
You got a beard, bitch. It's PCOS.
It's PCOS. And the reason they know that is because the doctors are the people who are doing the research on these very chemicals and what they're doing inside of your body. So while you were just sitting right here saying, oh my God, these things in my life are happening because I'm doing this and that, it's not even you're not even conscious of the actual chemicals that are making your body do the shit that it's doing. You get what I'm saying? So with that being said, it's not just the fact that you can't lose weight or some shit like that. Most of the time, it's the fact that, you feel me, what are you cooking your food in? What type of deodorant you use? Simple shit like that. And with that being said, I'm gonna let Dr. Sebi break into it a little bit so we can got down. Hold on. I forgot one part too. Share computer sound. Share. Yes, sir.
I am not a medical professional. The information provided in this video is for informational purposes. Please consult with your healthcare provider for medical advice.
Okay. What about any advice for women for shrinking fibroids? It seems to be a very common problem with among black females.
The reason why black females are facing with such a high incidence of fibroids, the diet.
The diet.
They have taken us away from the diet that nature designed for us.
Yes.
And we have become victims, conditioned to that diet. Now, we have to turn the thing around, bring back everything that we feel, that we know is consistent with our cellular predisposition, our diet.
In this video, I'll be going over how to heal the female reproductive system. This includes fibroids, PCOS, infertility, abnormal uterine bleeding, and endometriosis. Although I will not go into details over each specific condition.
Good for what? Fibroid. The question is asked, what is good for fibroids? What are fibroids? Fibroids is the accumulation of what? Toxins. Starch begins the process. And they're small, then they get larger and larger, and then they burst. When they burst, they spread. They call that cancer. So what we have is a product that begin to reduce the fibroids as they came. And at some point, they rolled out. A woman came to us from New Jersey with 14 fibroid tumors, Gloria Walker. She was never supposed to have a baby. She has 3 little girls.
There are some necessary basics that you must follow in order to ensure that you are on the road to healing properly from whatever condition that you may have.
So that right there was Dr. Sebi. He's pretty much breaking down like you got to stay.
This includes following.
Make sure you watch what you put in your diet. And your diet is not just what you eat. It's literally your whole environment. Once you start studying more into your body and every system into your body, you'll realize that like not just what you put in your mouth, but what you put in what's in the air, what you bathe with, what you put on your skin, what type of light you're getting. It's so many different instructions that you're getting from the universe at one time. And with that being said, the main things that help regulate all these instructions going on inside of your body at one time and all the resources used to execute these instructions are it's most efficient for you to have a plant-based diet or a diet where most of your nutrients are coming from plants, where most of your instructions and chemicals phytochemicals are coming from plants. And with that being said, eat mostly raw fruits and vegetables because you can actually get the natural live fibers inside of that stuff. And with that being said, avoid starches and sugars because those things cause inflammation and they trigger what a lot of people call outbreaks, which is basically a continuation of you poisoning and putting toxins inside of your body and your body trying to get rid of it, but not having the necessary chemicals that it needs to cleanse itself and then start back producing things like I used to before. And last but not least, drink a gallon of spring water a day. Water is the most important part of the whole thing because it keeps the whole system actually moving. You get what I'm saying? It actually powers the whole system. So another thing, what's important, is crazy because like the last thing they said on there was skip high fructose corn syrup. And that's crazy because if you go look at the Black community, where do kids have in their mouths? Kids don't drink water basically.
Yeah.
Water is usually the last option. When I was growing up, water was the last option. It was always that shit. Kool-Aid, some with some high fructose corn syrup in it, bro.
Juice box.
So that's good, interesting to know because of the fact that all this time now, like pretty much everybody's on the path now and they can understand like, damn, like people be asking, like you might think you need certain herbs, you might think you need certain shit, but the main part to dealing with shit that has to do with your hormonal system, now you know from here on out that it just has to do with basically the chemicals and the toxins inside of your environment. You get what I'm saying? Like basically what you go into the store and you spending your money on, like that's where that shit is coming from, sadly. The reason why, I mean, it's not technically the reason why, but the reason why a lot of this plastic shit is cheaper is because it has these chemicals in it. The way it's made produces toxins, literally. So we're gonna go into a little bit of goddamn information so people can start actually learning more about what this stuff is. And before we do that, we're gonna have a little story time break so we can pick up back where we was at, because that's a good part. It's a good time to pick back up. We just basically saying, I mean, when we left off that, you were saying like pretty much telling about how like growing up, you know, the different environmental factors, like women like to have their hair done and women like to have their makeup done and women like to have all these things done. And before we sat right here and pretty much read all these toxins, we think that a lot of women are under the assumption that it's pretty much something wrong with them psychologically, or they're cursed, or you feel me, like pretty much something like genetically is wrong with them. A lot of people think that like it's something they can't change. So like, with that being said, like, I know you were in the military at one point in time. When you were in the military working out more, And like, I know you weren't necessarily on a plant-based diet. Do you feel like what was your experience with PCOS at that point in your life?
I mean, I still didn't have a period the whole time. Like I told you, I went.
Were you still on birth control and stuff like that at that time?
No, I stopped taking like all the stuff they gave me just to see if my period would naturally come on, but it didn't. Like, and especially when I was working out, I think that kind of stopped it too from coming on.
You think so?
Yeah. I mean, because regular working out and military working out is two different types. We were going really hard, so.
Very true.
Yeah. And so naturally, it's been saying that we have like more testosterone in our body than we should. So
that is also true.
Yeah. But yeah, I didn't really like start trying to like figure out how to fix it or if I could by myself until I met you. Before that, I was just it was just whatever. Like I was just used to having like a regular period, and that's what it was. My period's irregular. I just accepted it.
Yeah. So that's the interesting part, because it's like, just wonder how many women out there actually thinking they can't get pregnant.
They can't get pregnant.
And I mean, it's not. I mean, I'm pretty sure doctors reinforce this because they'll give women birth control, which is also going to reinforce you not being able to get pregnant. So, with that being said, I mean, it's not just. I mean, we're well, she had experience with PCOS, but it's not just that. A lot of women, or a lot of diseases, or issues, or what they call it, pathologies that women suffer from, it actually has to do with environmental shit. And with that being said, that's just because a lot of women don't understand their endocrine system. And that is where we're going to start digging a little bit more into. So I did have a video. Let me see if I can pull this video up. Go to my histories right quick. And this keep disappearing and shit.
Finish that documentary though.
All right, we good. Going to the history. Okay. Which one of these shawties had it on here? Oh yeah, this it right here. So I want to break down. I want y'all to understand the Women's Hospital.
Polycystic ovary syndrome is a constellation of symptoms rather than a specific disease.
So right there, she already broke it down. She already broke down something very important. What did she say just then? She said it's not even a specific disease. It's a combination of symptoms.
That's crazy though, because if you Google it, it's gonna tell you that it's a disease that has no cure.
It's because it's not really a disease. So if it's not a disease, it doesn't have a cure.
Okay, but I mean, when I read that, I take it as it can't be reversed, and it absolutely can be reversed.
And that's just people using medical jargon on motherfuckers, and that's just lame. But her saying that, and she's an actual doctor, is breaking down the truth, and it's important to even just stop right there, 20 seconds into this video, because a lot of people got to understand that, like I said, I'll rather call them pathologies, because that's really all it is. A lot of the pathologies, environmental pathologies that women are doing is harming them, and then they go to these doctors, and they are aware of these fucking environmental harms, and they don't think it's possible for you to change this somehow, or they don't think you're aware or even conscious or smart enough, basically, or intelligent enough to say, I understand what the endocrine system is. I understand what toxins I'm putting in my body. If you tell me on a piece of paper that's a diagnostic test of my fucking blood work or whatever, what toxins and what chemicals you see, what toxins are poisonous in my blood, then I can work on that myself.
You know, none of that stuff was in the packet that they gave me. It was nothing about diet or what I put on my skin or any of that. If I work out, if I go outside, it was all, these are the medicines we have available. And if you want to get pregnant, this is what we have available. And it's nothing about like changing up my lifestyle.
And that's the thing, bro. Like a lot of the time doctors have people, a lot of doctors at one time, I have a group of people come to them with a certain list of symptoms, and it's not a disease. You get what I'm saying? So let's say, for example, I release a fucking toxic ass plastic bottle, and then everybody who take that plastic bottle, they start having the same symptoms, and they go to the doctors, and the doctors are like, well, we're looking at your blood work, and there's definitely no disease, but there are symptoms. Your body is not basically responding to the right instructions, and it has off whack instructions. It's producing too much testosterone. It's not producing enough estrogen, and what she's gonna go into later. But basically, I'm giving an example of how, you get what I'm saying? They're telling you this, and they can see this on their side, but they don't necessarily. They might not necessarily know that everybody who's coming to them, or everybody who's coming to their friend doctors and them, are drinking from this fucking plastic water bottle that I fucking have. So instead of them saying, "Hey, let's go do some environment," we gotta consider environmental factors. What they gonna automatically do is assume it's your body. That's what their job. They don't know yet, technically. Sometimes these motherfuckers really just don't know. So then it'll take time for like 20 years of people going and getting birth control and being fucking manipulated. And then out of nowhere, you feel me, actual research comes out and says, oh yeah, if you just work on your diet and you work on your fucking exercise routine and, you feel me, stop using so much plastic, then literally stop using so much makeup, which is basically plastic, literally.
Bro, it's like when I started focusing on healing that part, it happened so fast. Like it didn't even take like a long time. Like when I just started being persistent about it and researching and doing everything I was reading, like, okay, I'm supposed to be blah, blah, or what you told me, then gosh, it was just so quick. And it's so crazy because I literally went like 12 years of just thinking like, oh, I have this thing.
Yeah. I'll let her explain it a little bit further. You feel me?
The cause or causes are not completely understood. Interestingly, the ovaries may develop cysts, but that is not necessary for the diagnosis of polycystic ovary syndrome. Many patients who have polycystic ovary syndrome, or PCOS, are overweight or obese, and it is one of the most common hormonal problems in young women.
Most common.
In a normal menstrual cycle, the brain makes the hormone GnRH, which is released.
So I'm gonna stop right now because that's the main part that people gotta understand right there. When you talking about a period, you're not talking about the moon, bro. Let's get that shit straight. It's a good thing to put
moon cycle.
It's a good thing to relate it to the moon because that's the way our ancestors were able to keep up with that shit. Yeah, you can easily keep up with the moon because it actually is aligned with that. But it's not always supposed to be aligned with that for one, but we're actually talking about a hormonal cycle that actually takes around the same time to go, or it's supposed to take around the same time to flow across your whole blood from your hypothalamus gland through your blood system down to your fucking reproductive system, pretty much. That's what that actually is. You get what I'm saying? It's not some magical shit where you just start bleeding and your reproductive system is cleaning itself. It's literally a system. So with that being said, I just want to break that down. It's called the GnRH hormone, or whatever she fuck shit. I'm gonna play it back.
GnRH, which is released into a special circulation going to the pituitary gland. The pituitary gland then releases two hormones, FSH and LH, which travel in the bloodstream to the ovary, causing the ovary to produce an egg. The egg will then travel to the uterus, and if fertilized, will stay in the uterus, but if not fertilized, it will be shed and the woman will have a normal menstrual period. We think one of the primary abnormalities in PCOS is the abnormal release of the GnRH. So instead of being released in regular cyclic manner, it is released rapidly throughout the day. This disrupts the release of the LH and FSH in a way that LH is increased, but FSH is decreased into the peripheral circulation. In response to this, the ovary makes more male hormone, testosterone or androgens, and ovulation is inhibited.
So that's going back to earlier when they were saying hyperandroism. Hyperandroism basically is basically it's basically your body is not, I mean, not your body. That's not in everybody's case, of course, but it's what they're saying is most cases that your body is not taking the chemicals, or it doesn't have the basic chemicals that it needs in order to produce FSH, FSH, and instead it's producing and using it to produce androgens, which are just like male-based hormones that men can use in their bodies, or even women use in their bodies, but not to only to perform certain functions. You get what I'm saying? So it's not supposed to be a dominant thing, because with that being said, like they said, it literally tells your body to not, it's literally tell your body that, in a way, is literally telling your body like, oh yeah, you don't have a vagina, you don't have a female reproductive system, you don't have to shed, and you don't have to use your energy to get rid of this shit right now, basically. You get what I'm saying?
Is inhibited. Women with PCOS may notice a constellation of symptoms. The most common are unpredictable and irregular periods. Acne is also common, as well as the development of coarse hair on many body parts. Depression and mood disorders are also extremely common in patients with PCOS. Many of the symptoms of PCOS may not be noticed by the patient. In particular, blood sugar may increase because of the insulin resistance, and this can lead to a condition called prediabetes or even diabetes. Blood pressure can also increase, and women may develop high blood pressure. Women may develop high cholesterol levels and sleep apnea. Also, women with PCOS are at risk for cancers such as uterine cancer. The risk for some of these serious medical problems have just been quantified in a recent study. Women who were diagnosed with PCOS compared to women of the same age without PCOS had 3 times the risk of diabetes, stroke, and heart disease, twice the risk of anxiety, depression, and drug use, and also twice the risk of hospitalization for any cause. Women with PCOS were also found to have 10 times the risk of infertility.
So we don't need to hear her treatment shit. We really don't. With that being said, do this new share. I don't think I need to play any more sounds. So yeah, with that being said, where's my record button? Anyway, now we get a greater understanding of what specifically is going on with the woman's body, in terms of the period, in terms of the cycle, the menstrual cycle, and we understand how your hypothalamus gland and your pituitary gland are basically like the head. They're like basically the coach and the quarterback for your endocrine system in a way, specifically when it comes to producing the hormones that it is ran off of. And don't mistake it that your endocrine system is not just responsible for your period and shit. That's why it's so important, and that's why they were saying like PCOS is associated with all this other shit like anxiety, depression, heart attack, fucking stroke, all this other shit.
Also thyroid too.
Thyroid shit, because you gotta understand your thyroid. One second, what that shit at? Oh, I got it. Oh wait, it's somewhere over here.
So yeah, I remember having to like get a test ran on my thyroid.
So where we at right here is we are at the endocrine.org, and they had a picture up here. There you go. So that's just one picture right here, but I could find a bigger one. So yeah, your endocrine system is composed of your hypothalamus, which regulates hunger, thirst, sleep, and wakefulness, plus most of your involuntary mechanisms, including your body temperature, which is a part of your your metabolism and your fucking immune system. With that being said, your pituitary gland controls all other endocrine glands. Once again, your pituitary gland controls all other endocrine glands, influences growth, metabolism, and regeneration. Your thyroid gland regulates your energy and metabolism. Your parathyroid gland secretes the hormones necessary for calcium absorption. Your pancreas
aids in the digestion of protein, fats, and carbohydrates. Produces insulin, which controls blood sugar levels. Your thymus helps build resistance to disease. Adrenal glands secretes hundreds of compounds, including cortisone and adrenaline, which helps you react to emergencies, regulates your metabolic processes in the cells, water balance, blood pressure, etc. Ovaries influences how your blood circulates and determines your mental vigor and your sex drive. Metabolism, the conversion of nutrients into energy and building materials to meet your body's needs.
All right. And then the only difference between that for men and women is instead of having a uterus, of course, the men have the testes, which secretes male sex hormones. You get what I'm saying? That's what they regulate that down to. But with that being said, each one of these glands and each one of these motherfucking, I guess that's what they all are technically, glands. Each one of these glands are responsible for different production of other chemicals that your body uses in order to do different things. That's why they're called hormones, and that's why they necessarily call them instructions, or they use the analogy of them being called instructions. And with that being said, like they said, the two main ones, I mean, there's not two main ones because they all are like a team, basically. You can't have a coach and not have a fucking team. You can't have a quarterback and not have him not have anybody to block him, do all the other shit. So with that being said, the hypothalamus gland is responsible for a lot of shit. You get what I'm saying? So I just want to break that down first, because as they were saying, like the hypothalamus gland, when it comes to the hypothalamus and pituitary gland, are responsible for the exchange of a chemical called GH or whatever the chemical is. And these two that chemical is responsible for producing the two chemicals that eventually move on to regulate and control your menstrual cycle. That's not the only thing the hypothalamus and the pituitary gland work on. With that being said, it's something called neurosecretory cells of the hypothalamus gland. They produce, release, and inhibit hormones. And for example, ADH, which goes to your kidney, is responsible for water absorption. You have something called a myoepithelial cell contraction, and that's produced by oxytocin. A contraction of myometrium, which happens in your uterus, is also produced with oxytocin. What else?
That's what helps push the baby up.
Exactly. So that's something that's called that all is regulated by the posterior of your hypothalamus gland. Also, you have something called the growth hormone via IGF-1, which is responsible for bone growth. It's also responsible for hypoglycemia, which is also muscle. It also is responsible. I mean, you have something called growth hormone via IGF-1 also that is responsible for elevated free fatty acids, which is basically adipose tissue. And also a little bit in between the posterior and the anterior, which is inside of something called an acidophil. You got something that you got a chemical exchange that ends up producing something called prolactin, which is responsible for mammary gland, your mammary gland secretion.
Or milk secretion.
So
or breastfeeding.
Yeah. So your breastfeeding is literally what initiates your breastfeeding. It comes, I mean, not only from your brain, because you got to have, once again, you got to have phytochemicals, you got to have elements inside of your body. You have trace elements. You got to have a lot of shit to actually build up to this thing, to actually do these things healthily. But the thing that actually regulates that happening is the hypothalamus gland. So
you balance your hypothalamus and you balance the whole thing in a way.
You can say that, yeah. And then basically you got an interior which is responsible for shit like your adrenal cortex, your thyroid, your ovaries, your testes, and all the chemicals inside of there. And the reason why that's important, just so you know that, it's not just all about sexual shit, basically. Like these hormones are actually responsible, they're actually responsible for carrying out the duties inside of your cells, like literally inside and outside of your cells. So I'm gonna save this for later. And I think I went over that already. And the only thing I'm missing is to show you on this part.
Woo! Yeah, and then I wanna break down like just a few key things that I did to actually reverse it. So that can be like the last thing.
All right. I'm not ready for that right there. That's probably what you're talking about. There is basically. All right, go back to this. Interesting shit. That one never showed a full fucking picture. Anyway, fuck it. With that being said, one of the main ways that your body actually processes and receives hormones and different things is through your skin. So we're talking about PCOS and we're relating back to the whole thing to finish this off, because the main thing that I correlated, besides the diet and the exercise, of course, which is the natural normal shit that you can do, is, I hate to say it, but I mean, can you correlate to this, that the less makeup that you wore is the easier it became to reverse your PCOS?
Yeah, so I pretty much stopped wearing makeup because I used to wear makeup every single day. I stopped wearing makeup. I changed my diet to plant-based vegan because I was kind of on the fence for a while with the pescatarian, vegetarian, all that. Then I just finally went dairy-free. I started drinking herbs for the first time ever in my life. Lots of blue, I can't get the word out. Blue vervain, because that's like her favorite herb. Blue vervain. I brought my period on myself with black cohosh. So yeah, no makeup, more herbal teas, went plant based, more exercise, more sunlight. Yeah, I think that's, of course, no over the counter medicine, nothing like that.
Mm.
Oh, I stopped drinking so much because I used to really like, going out and drinking with my friends, and I stopped. I slowed that down a lot. Um, yeah, like, I mean, this is me after 30. The person was thinking that they couldn't have children for like 12 years. I was pregnant within like 3 months. Doing this thing.
So with
Not
that,
on purpose either.
with that being said, we focusing real hard on you. You feel me? And with that, I mean that's just an attestament to the actual lifestyle change.
Yeah.
And with that being said, also the reason I brought up and asked her about the makeup shit is because that's one of my main theories that I could. I mean, it's not a theory; it's obviously facts, and I'm not the only person who thinks this. But with that being said, just studying how different, like, I mean, basically studying toxic metals to the body, and then also studying how you feel me these metals block and inhibit your hormones from being produced or even being able to function the way they're supposed to. It definitely can be said that you feel me when people say there's a spiritual war, they really mean there's a chemical war, sadly, because you can't see the chemicals and everything that you think is happening to you is happening. It's happening unintentionally, intentionally to you. It's being sold to you, basically. And with that being said, I'm gonna go into this, bro. We got another paper here. We're gonna go into it. Then after that, I think I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. So the name of this article is called "What is Your Skin Eating?" And that's because once again, like I said, your skin is basically one of the main organs on your body. It's the largest organ on your body, but it also is one of the main organs in your body that you receive the most information through. So with that being said, it says the skin is the largest organ. It also is the biggest. The skin is the largest organ. It also has the biggest gateways for getting inside. It is not only what you eat, but what you put on your body that is vital to your health. Conventional bath and beauty products are filled with formulated chemicals and react on top. And react on top of that. And that is why it's important to take notice of what you put on your skin. Okay. Let me get off this Pinterest shit so y'all can at least see some cool shit. Go back to this. Okay. So with that being said, our skin absorbs 60% of any topical product we use. 60% of any topical product we use. Okay. Say it isn't so. More than 10,000 various ingredients are permitted for use in our personal care products. Many are hazardous to our health that are allowed in products we use every day. Not once a week, every fucking day, bitch. So the average woman wears nearly, how many you think? You can see it. You can see it. How much you think it is? How many chemicals do you think the average woman wears every day?
It took about hair, took about skin, took about perfume.
You talking about toothpaste? All that shit. We talking about toothpaste too.
Laundry detergent, all the magical oils. 100.
We got 100. Before I say it, what y'all think it is? Type it down below. And while you at it, while you got your little mouse or finger about to type some shit, go ahead and hit that, smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Support the family. We're gonna be on the journey together, learning about our body and shit. Even if you already know, have fun. You feel me? Naruto Uzumaki would. So why the fuck wouldn't you? Couldn't even say that. Rick and Morty would turn up with us. You can't see it because we too transcendental. Is that the word you're saying?
Yeah.
Transcendent. Yeah. I paint pictures in my head better than I talk. The average woman wears nearly 515 chemicals a day.
515.
515 chemicals a day. The average woman. That's not. We talking about the average woman. We talking about even that is throwing all the naturals bitches in there. So with that being said, that when I say natural, I mean we talking about the average woman, meaning if you got 500 women, that means at least 20% of them don't even wear no chemical products at all. So that means even with that, they're still they don't wear it. I mean, I'm not sure if they're aware that they're putting chemicals on. At least is what I meant to say.
Yeah.
But with that being said, even that being said, 515 chemicals a day. The most dangerous chemicals in your beauty products are toluene. It's a petroleum-based product found in nail polish and cosmetics. So that's why these Chinese bitches be. Oh, what? I'm sorry, not Chinese. I love Chinese people. That's why That's why y'all like going to that motherfucking foot lady shit.
They don't even be trying to stop that beauty Vietnamese.
That's why y'all like going to get that shit. It said health alert. I can't even read that shit. But it said the chemical inside of this can affect brain function and central nervous system. It can also interfere with normal fetal and childhood development. So you telling me y'all don't support the little child. Don't support none of that kid product shit. If it got any animals or cartoons or colorful shit in it, especially if you got toluene in it, whatever it's called, it's spelled TOLUENE.
Send up baby shark bubble bath.
None of that shit. Then next you got is something called synthetic formaldehyde. This is a volatile organic chemical, highly toxic, and often found in nail polish and hair relaxers. So that's going back to what she was saying earlier. Like she was getting hair relaxer earlier. It threw off her hormonal balance. That's how it happens. It's because these chemicals are actually they're actually being soaked into your fucking skin. And it's not just because it's right there by your head. Yeah, it's right there by your head. But if it gets soaked in your skin any fucking where, that shit is going to get filtered through your head. It's going to get filtered through your thalamus gland. It's going to get filtered through your pituitary gland. So that's why whatever chemical I see on here, the first thing I see is it affects the mental and the nervous system. 100%. I mean, and it also says this chemical formaldehyde, synthetic formaldehyde, it vaporizes, causing indoor air pollution. This is toxic to the liver and carcinogenic. That's crazy, babe. That's crazy, bro. So with that being said, we're gonna move on to the next one. The last one is aluminum. You got aluminum foil in there right now, bro. And you know what's crazy? It says aluminum. This is a widely used toxic metal and can be found in virtually everything from antiperspirant deodorant to nasal spray. Nasal spray, my nigga. Hey, nasal spray? You spraying aluminum foil in your fucking nose, nigga?
Not aluminum foil.
And shampoo? Don't tell me your ass ain't, bro. You telling me that? You telling me niggas putting aluminum foil in their shampoo, bro? In their head? Talking about head and shoulders and shit? This widely used toxic metal can be found in virtually everything. Okay. It said the health alert is because aluminum-based compounds such as deodorants are applied to the skin near the breast, and there is an increased concern for the chemicals that the chemicals may be absorbed and cause estrogen-like effects, eventually distributing the function of the endocrine system. Wow. Because this shit is not even about, it's about endocrine system because it's talking about chemicals. And with that being said, now we know also that women who get lumps on their breasts, or women who go through shit with their breasts, or even women who have disrupted fucking hormones or periods and shit, that ain't even gotta be PCOS half the time. It can literally just be your fucking Dove fucking little roll-on shit. or what they call that shit, where they got women selling it to other women and shit. It's like a company, Avita or something like that.
The shaving stuff.
No, it's like a
Garnier.
perfume. It's like a perfume and deodorant and shit. And like, if I like it, I'll sell it to you type shit. Anyway, it started with an A. Avon or something like that.
Oh, Avon, yeah.
That
I was
shit.
like, yeah, I'll sell it to you.
That's the shit. They got a whole business scheme. They got a whole pyramid scheme for that shit. But with that being said, next we got parabens. We were talking about parabens earlier. These synthetic preservatives are used regularly in cosmetics. Once again, we're talking about cosmetics. Every one of these fucking chemicals have been in cosmetics, bro. Every single one. And you want to know what's crazy? These cosmetics products are usually they're usually used to make your body do something or look like something it's not. Think about that. You want this makeup to stay on your face, your body's saying, sweat this shit off, bitch. And you want it to stay on there, guess what you're gonna have to do to literally tell your body to not sweat that shit off, bro. You're literally sending instructions to your fucking hormones and saying, hey, don't sweat this shit off. Don't sweat this shit off. And then over time, that shit gets stuck in your pores and shit. And then you got acne and shit like that. And then they telling you that, you feel me, it's some whole other shit. And the whole time it ain't shit but the fact that your ass has been using aluminum foil, fucking roll-on, or even like some people actually wake up every day and wash their face with Dove soap. People actually wake up and go wash their face with the same soap they scrub their fucking body with.
Yeah, lotion on the face too.
Then they put the lotion on the face. That's why this whole movement with shea butter and shit like that is powerful, bro. It can't be fucked with because that shit don't got no hormones. It's just fat. You feel me? With that being said, regularly in cosmetics, parabens are regularly found in cosmetics, personal care products, and even babies' lotions. And I swear to God, bro, that's why I hate Johnson & Johnson. And every time Holly used to use that shit on Zen a little bit, it will make me fucking, I don't even want to say it.
Because I ran out of stuff and like people gave us a lot.
I used it too.
A lot.
They was broke as fuck at that time. But with that being said, fuck that shit.
I gave my stuff away.
And then nowadays, Johnson & Johnson actually has paraben free on their shit. And they actually have all that phthalate free. Not all of them. Some of them do.
Already had the fucking powder that people were getting cancer from. So
exactly. I don't trust them. I'm just saying they're trying to make it seem like they're trying to take that shit out of there. Parabens have been linked to interruption of normal endocrine system functioning and severe allergies. So a lot of the time people have allergies, especially to I don't want to say pollen, but a lot of times people have allergies to shit like natural shit, basically being in nature. It's because of the fact that you have parabens blocking. You literally have parabens sending a similar signals, but slightly different, and they don't have the same chemical makeup, elemental makeup, molecular makeup, or atomic makeup. Atomic makeup, that is. They'll send the same signal. They don't have the same atomic makeup, which is going back to Dr. Sebi saying something have a complete molecular structure. And with that being said, you'll touch grass and might be like, you're allergic to grass. In reality, the grass is literally trying to sing, like that grass touching up against you is your body receiving certain chemicals, receiving a certain exchange of instructions, basically. And it can't do that because the fucking parabens are blocking your glands. They're blocking your cells from actually being able to do the functions they're supposed to do with these instructions anyway. With that being said, you've been having that shit on you since you was a baby, nigga. Your mama love baby oil. Your mama love Johnson & Johnson, nigga.
Love a baby.
You can
like a baby. That's what they say.
Nigga, you got that shit in your skin right now. I still got that shit in my fucking body right now, most likely. You get what I'm saying? That shit has been used on.
What's the Kool-Aid?
Bro, you gotta understand that Johnson & Johnson and all these companies, they got away with this type of shit for decades, nigga, before they actually started fucking doing research on this shit. Decades, nigga. Sodium lauryl sulfate. The industrial chemical is designed to clean and create foam. The detergent is typically found in shampoo, liquid soap, and toothpaste. So with that being said, you got to get rid of the sodium lauryl sulfate. The health concerns with that is that although not fundamentally harmful, although it's not fundamentally harmful, it is a ephthalation, which is basically the chemical manufacturing process, can contaminate products. Can concentrate products with a carcinogenic. Say that word for me. My mouth dry as fuck right now, babe.
What carcinogenic?
Carcinogenic byproducts that suppresses the immune system. Last but not, another one, basically the last one is synthetic fragrances. Synthetic fragrances are made of petrol-based chemicals or petrol-based oils. These chemicals, namely phthalates, are found in soap, lotion, shampoo, deodorant, conditioner, and perfume. Phthalates have been linked to hormone disruption. According to the environmental works, according to the environmental working group, my bad. According to an environmental working group called Skin's Deep Database, over 25,000 personal care products were found to contain parabens. Research conducted by the EWG confirms nearly 22% of all personal care products, including those marked for children, use and contain the cancer-causing contaminant 1,4-dioxanane. And last but not least, when a recent EWG study tested 20 teen girls aged 14 from 19, at least 2 dangerous chemicals were present in a sample from each teen. Furthermore, the teens had an average of 13 hormone-altering cosmetic chemicals in their bone. 13! Let me say that again. Y'all don't even understand how deep that is, bro. Furthermore, the teens had an average of 13 hormone-altering cosmetic chemicals in their bodies. I said bones at first. I meant to say bodies. In their bodies. So, that's crazy, bro. They didn't say, bro. Oh my God. That's fucked up, bro. The average one had 13 hormone-altering cosmetic chemicals. You're talking about the teenage girls who are in their prime of actually building what their fucking body is supposed to be. You get what I'm saying, babe? Like, because women start their puberty earlier and they end it sooner too. So we're talking about the prime of a woman building up her fucking basically instructions that she's going to be recycling for the rest of her life until she changes her pathology in her own way. You heard Zen back there?
Mm-mm.
I thought I just heard him. Anyway, I'm gonna speed this. I'm gonna just speed it up. Basically, pucker up. This is the next part. Conventional lipstick is also a problem. If you want to go back and check on them. Conventional lipstick is also a problem, you guys. Why is conventional lipstick a problem? Because of the fact that conventional lipstick is the most universally used makeup product and actually contains some of the most dangerous chemicals perfectly packed into a tube. And we place it right on your fucking mouth and you expect the nigga to kiss you. The average woman will eat nearly 4 pounds of lipstick in her lifetime. I'm going to say that again. The average woman will eat nearly 4 pounds of lipstick in her lifetime. And that has nothing to do with your brain? Of course it does. Because why? Lead is a highly toxic heavy metal which stays in your system and can cause immense damage. Lead is associated with a range of neurological problems, blood disorders, depression, as well as a behavior and learning disabilities in children. An FDA study found all 20 of the let me say it again. Found all 20 of the lipsticks they tested to contain lead contaminant. Found all 20 of the lipsticks they tested to contain lead contaminants. Found all 20 of the lipsticks they tested to contain lead contaminants. Wow. Not one was an exception. So we got to get rid of the lipsticks, you guys. That's not. I feel like it's just crazy because they're starting this whole culture where guys wear nail polish and guys wear lipstick, you know, on a rock and roll type shit, like more on a glam pop, glam rock. They're trying to go back to that vibe. And the whole thing is, nigga, is you killing yourself over there? Down there on that little molecular scale? Protecting your greatest asset. You may have previously thought you only UV rays can be harmful to your skin. Now that you know that toxins in your products, it's time to rethink the kind of sunblock you've been using. The government isn't regulating personal care products for safety before they reach the consumer. The industry can use virtually any ingredient or raw material it sees fit without any approval or special labeling requirements. So if you want to get into if you want to get into hygiene, if you want to get in personal care products business, and if you're a type of person who don't really like having responsibilities, but you want to have a business, it looks like you need to be around the personal care industry. Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that. Just stay in your lane. You feel me? With that being said, back to it. With that being said, so I can read this a little bit better. The government isn't regulating personal care products for safety before they reach the consumer. The industry can use virtually any ingredient or raw material it sees fit without any approval or special labeling requirements. Taking care of your most visible organ. Bath, beauty, and skincare products should be made with pure organic pigments, oils, fragrances, and butters. We already know that. We already on that vibe. Everybody fuck with shea butter. Everybody fuck with coconut oil. Everybody know you feel me, organic pigments that they can get from plants. They don't have to use these fake ass colorings and shit no more. The products must be certified organic with extracts from jojoba seed, shea butter, organic safflower oil, and content should be made with pure mineral pigments. That's a good advice right there. Buyer beware. A pink ribbon on products in support of breast cancer may instead be a way for brands to cash in on the disease. Many of these actually contain the very chemical experts linked to cancer. Yeah, you feel me? The pink ribbon there is actually there to let you know they're responsible for it. They're not trying to. You get what I'm saying? They feel responsible for. They like, okay, let's start a little foundation. Let's give them a little sigil, and let's give them a little sigil because we are cancer cells. They literally weird. These motherfuckers are cancer cells. They see themselves as cancer cells. They know that what they are. Cancer cells is a cell that doesn't want to fucking follow instructions. It doesn't want to. It's one of these motherfucking. It's one of these fucking cells that have been disrupted by all these fucking toxins in the environment, and they're just not listening. So that's what they see themselves as. They see themselves as cancer cells. So they like, look, we know we're cancer cells. We're going to tell you we're sorry and fund research on the stuff that we already know is causing you cancer. With that being said, I'm going to say that again. A pink ribbon on products in support of breast cancer may instead be a way for brands to cash in on a disease because these actually contain the very chemical experts linked to cancer. Don't be blinded by the pink washing on the side of the industry. The pink washing side of the industry, and be sure to check your labels no matter what. Choose products that are free of toxins, synthetic preservatives, artificial colors, fragrances, and mineral oils. Save your skin. And with that being said, now you have a good introduction of, now you have a good introduction, you have a good grounding basis of how to approach your whole endocrine system. You got a good balance of how to start actually reversing, or not reversing, just basically taking care of your business when it comes to, you feel me, your whole hormonal balance, and you feel me, balancing your estrogen, testosterone. You understand what chemicals are actually involved in those. You understand what chemicals are blocking your body from actually producing natural chemicals that it wants to and will produce no matter what, whether even if you don't want it to, but guess what? It's going to be imbalanced there no matter what. So with that being said, you have to stop poisoning your body. The last piece of paper that I just went down, the last 10, 15 minutes, me and her just hearing her reading this shit, that's the most important shit, honestly, because a lot of women, they'll sit right here and attribute all the stuff that they got going on to their hormonal imbalance. It goes back to three things: niggas dick dirty type shit, niggas dick be dirty, or they just think they fat. You feel me? And they can't change that about themselves. They think they're a bitch. They think their obesity is an effect of basically, you feel me, their motivation. They don't understand their motivation is affected their own biochemistry, and they don't even understand that their motivation is an effect of their fucking hormonal endocrine system itself. And with that being said, last but not least, just because a doctor says you have a certain thing, don't mean it's a disease. That's another thing. That's the last thing that's more important. It literally, once again, we had basically three different sources, very legit sources, government sources that have been doing this shit for a while, telling you that many of the female pathologies that are known as to be diseases are actually just a group of symptoms. That's it. They're a group of symptoms. And with that being said, if you eliminate symptom one by one, then you can say you can completely get rid of it. But they don't tell you that. They want you to take the shortcuts because in reality, they don't even really understand what's going on themselves. Because the research has been done by these people, yeah. By people like the EWC and all that shit. But and you feel me, the people who made these papers that I've been reading, I'm gonna try to leave some links and sources below. But with that being said, the doctors are only going to be able to do what they can do, basically. The best they can do. And the best they can do is try to give you a fucking prescription or something like that and tell you that the symptoms that you're facing, they're going to try to tell you something so that you could keep up with the symptoms you're facing all in one spot. That's what they make the PCOS for. That's what they make the fibroids for and shit like that. That's why I made obesity. That's why even you can really even in a way trace diabetes back to that too, because insulin is a hormone technically. So with that being said, I appreciate everybody stopping by here and growing with me. Like I've been learning a lot this whole year about my whole body, a lot about, you feel me, biology, chemistry, biochemistry, motherfucking, a lot of shit dealing with science overall. And I'm not perfect with it. I'm still learning shit. But more than anything, I just appreciate people being humble like me and admitting that they don't know everything and being willing to actually go out there and find the sources and support the shit that you think is true, or even necessarily support the people who give you the information. And there's a lot of black people out there on top of this shit. There's a lot of white people out there on top of this shit. Don't get lost in the race, because it's not about black or white when it comes to health. In reality, like white people deal, like as you've seen in the statistics, they don't deal with it as much as black and Hispanics, because once again, like Dr. Sebi's breaking down, we are literally in a disposition to where we're not even supposed to be doing this shit. That's just their shit. They're used to, their bodies and their systems are used to dealing with these toxins. They're used to dealing with adverse, you feel me, situations in which it actually is attacking their fucking endocrine system. You get what I'm saying? But we can't afford that shit because that shit not normal, bro. And it's not good for you, and it's not good for the environment. And that's basically all your bodies are trying to tell you. The doctors aren't going to tell you that, but it comes down to that. It's environmental toxins. And environmental toxins really just mean the shit that you putting on your skin, the shit that you're putting the pills that you're putting in your mouth that are literally telling your body, giving your body instructions that are literally telling your body to get rid of the instructions or fucking forget or ignore the instructions it was already fucking taking in or following. That could be healthy in some ways if your body is doing unhealthy shit, but most of the time you can't isolate that. So it ends up sending an instruction to stop that one thing, but also send other instructions in there, and it becomes a chain effect. And now you got a whole fucking a whole nother pathology going on. So study your endocrine system. Do not support any of these toxins. Don't support the toxins in the water bottles, the makeup, none of the fucking shit that they tell you is for personal care. Personal care. My fucking cat lick her fucking ass every day. That's personal care. You think she needs some shampoo or makeup or fucking body wash, perfume, any of that shit? No. She lick her fucking ass. She lick herself. She licks her fur and she get clean, bro. I don't see the cat don't stink, bro. I don't bathe the cat. I don't bathe the cat barely. I bathe the cat like once a month to get rid of the fleas and shit. If it got fleas because of the cycle that it has with the, I don't even know the micro parasites it has on it. But outside of that, the cat cleans itself, fam. So why the fuck do you think you need this whole personal care industry? It's not gonna die. It is needed, believe me, but it has to be transformed completely, and it's time for you to be a part of that. That's the main way you can. It's the main way you can benefit from this information that we're sharing here with each other in the world today, and especially the people who've done the research on all these fucking products that we're using. Because you have to realize that the doctors, a lot of doctors, a lot of mainstream doctors, and a lot of like regular doctors out there, they're not the ones supporting or being able to say, or they don't want to say or admit that it's possible that these companies who they do research for are actually responsible for the shit that they're trying to tell their patients they want to heal. It's a contradiction. So the people out there who actually doing this research and the people out there who actually want to replace poisonous personal care products with natural ones, organic ones. Not okay, let me say that because that organic word could be used and manipulated against you in chemistry too. So with that being said, not organic ones, but you want to get bath, beauty, and skincare products made with pure organic pigments, oils, and fragrances. That's exactly what you want. That's exactly what you want. With that being said, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. I appreciate everybody for showing up. Fuck tuning in because I don't even honestly understand that shit. But I appreciate everybody for showing up with me. You feel me? Showing your face, helping me show my face out there in the world, liking, subscribing, and sharing. And this has been CGG Podcast. Check back in with us next time. Yes, sir.